G'day all and welcome to Nat's Knackers Yard, or indeed welcome back to Nat's Knackers Yard. I'm Nat and this is my Knackers Yard. It's a bit crowded at the moment. Yeah, it's relatively early on a Sunday morning, so it would be quiet stuff to start with after I've fed the dog. Ready, catch. Good girl. Ready, dance. Good girl. Right, one fed dog. What did you get up to last night, Nat? I had a brilliant night. Quite like last night. But while I was in, I had a quick initial go at these fairings. Now, they're actually not in bad nick, to be honest. It's mostly lugs that seem to be the issue. I'm replacing them, so... what did I use? Right, I used... Oh, he's natural. Didn't use any steel stick yet, but I probably will. Just use some of this. What's that? It's JB Weld knockoff, I suppose, isn't it? So 2-part epoxy stuff, and it's getting there, frankly. So I now have a nose cone in one piece. It's not that secure. What I do need to do is, and I ordered it last night actually. What I do need to do is sort some metal grill on the back, get that stuck on just to give that protection. That is quite strong up there. The second brake was down under the nose. That is nowhere near as strong, so I just need to fill that out before I start rubbing it down. If I start putting pressure on this to rub it down, it's just going to snap it again, I'm sure. And obviously it needs a lot of tidying up, but I'm happy with that. I'm happy with that so far. Let's drag Kermit. Well, no, I'm not going to play with Kermit too much today, so let's leave Kermit where he is. One of my bulbs is out. Yeah, that one's cool. I wonder why it was a bit darker in here than normal. Like I promised, I did whip the brakes off. They're not too bad, to be honest, but I think I pretty much always now replace pads. It seems daft not to, so I've ordered those. Now on the front, I'll put it back together so I wouldn't lose bits. Effectively there was one retaining pin that goes through that you can see in that divot there. Now the issue with them is it's a blind hole on the other side, like I think it's the Bandits, and like I had on my SV, certainly on the SV, they're a fucker to get out because there's no way of pushing it out. You can only pull it out and there's nothing to grip. I think the best way to do it is probably to split them. So that looks to be 4 bolts, 4 hex bolts, 1, 2, 3, 4. And split them. Now first of all we want to get the pistons out as far as you can, which means I need to pump them, which means I need brake fluid, which I still haven't got because I went to Halfords yesterday and they didn't have any, so I've ordered it online. So that's pretty much put a pause to this to Kermit while I'm waiting on bits and pieces. Trying to think what else I ordered for it last night. Can't remember. But yeah, so I've ordered brake fluid, and that'll have to wait off for today. It was a bit of a shame. I would have quite liked to at least get those pistons halfway out, or do a decent examination on them. The brake's actually looking good, Nick, frankly. Even getting that pin out, I've got worse out. I have doused it. I might replace it. Did have a look and there's only £8 for a pair anyway, so I may well find myself just cutting them out. Don't like doing that, it's a bit defeatist. but yeah, cool. Today, now that the paint has settled more on Sting, I think I'm going to drag Sting out, get the decals on, have a look at the clocks, because the clock cone's a bit knackered, and then see how we get on. So let's drag Sting out. Right, so that's what I mean on the clocks, and I think the best way to deal with it is just to take the clocks off, take the back off. Bloody birds are noisy this morning. Take the back off. Shut up. And just go black on it. So I think I'm going to whip that off to start with, because I can get on with that, and while its various coats are drying, I can get on with other stuff. Cool. Right. Right, so that's the clocks off. It's just the two mounting bolts on the top yoke there, and the back off as well. And as you can see, it's in good nick, with the exception of the gravel rash on the top there. So I'm just going to go inside, stick the kettle on, give that a wash in the old kitchen sink, and then give it a bit of a rub down to get rid of the rough edges. I'm not sure yet as to whether or not I'm going to put any filler on that, but I'll see how flat I get it and how much it's going to show over the paint. Right, let's have a look. Yeah, so a little bit of a clean up in the sink, and I have decided it probably needs some filler on it, so I've just banged some knife and putty on there, and I'll get on with some chores while that's drying. Right, so that's a couple of jobs ticked off the list for the day. Cup of tea in hand, essential for work. Right, what do I want to do today? I want to stop that from blowing away. Gotcha. Right, so I've got two of this kind of retro style decals. That's the word I was looking for. Fuck's sake. Right, so I've got those on, and I've got a tank protector on as well. On to go on. Just trying to work that out. If it's low, it bends where it don't want to bend. Stay. It kind of needs to come up about somewhat there, I think. So that needs to go on. So either way, I need to give the tank a bit of a clean, because it's got a bit dusty in the garage. So I'll just get some probably window lean, I think, just to give it a nice clean. Then it needs a fair amount of polish on top. What I've also got, I hadn't really forgotten, but I hadn't really thought about it. There's a real irritation on this bike. Oh, I need to put that cover back on that as well. Fucking idiot. Real irritation on this bike. It's lost the lug on the side stand, and obviously it doesn't have a centre stand. So what? When you're on it, trying to find that with your foot is a bitch. But it does have the lug there. Now there's a way I could fix that. Nat's only bought himself a MIG welder. He might be my first welding experience today. And it's just stick a bar or something following the line of my finger on there. Yeah, and then chuck some black paint on it. Doesn't have to be pretty, doesn't have to be great. It sits under the bike, you never see it, but it's important, and it helps. Right, so I'm going to get the cleaning stuff and get these decals on, I think. And there we go, a few very careful minutes later, and I think that is looking pretty shit hot. Yeah, it just finishes it off. I'm conflicted when it comes to stickers. I don't like stickers. I really don't. People plaster their bikes with them. I fail to see the point. However, bare paint with nothing on it looks a little bit tit in the shed, which, yeah, fair one. It was a tit in the shed. But it just needs something, and it just finishes it off, I think. Now, don't get me wrong, it now needs a shitload of polish over the top of it. And there's all sorts of debates as whether or not you put stickers on, then lacquer, rather than lacquer, then stickers, as I've done. The issue that I find is you can never be entirely sure what these are made out of. And if you go for can lacquer over the top, you can get a reaction, and quite often do. Plus they need to be super flat. Do not try and lacquer over anything with any bulk to it, otherwise it will just cock up. Yeah, so that needs some polish over the top. Look at that. That looks really good. I'm not going to go into how to put transfer or decals on. Just, you know, the answer is quite simple. Carefully. The bit that I did was, there's a bit of a blemish in the paint there, which is irritating. The difficulty I find is getting them even. First one's always easy to put on, second one's more difficult. So for this one, there's the reason my Thule strap is down here. Just lay the strap over the top as a marker, or sorry, position the first one, lay the strap over the top, which now has fallen the wrong way. There we go. Lay the strap over the top, got it on the tail edge of the wing, made sure I got that nice and flat. Then bit of paper, measured how far from the edge of the rim of the fuel cap, dunk, down the other side, worked out where it touched, which was basically, you know, on the H of the Thule, and then go for it. Yeah, it is a little bit hit and miss, and you just need to be careful, and it doesn't always work, which is a pisser. Right, let's see how that cowling for the Speedo's going. Right, so that's me set up. That's my new MIG welder. Yeah, all set up. The only thing I've done is practice by welding two bolts together, which I made a complete mess of. But hey, you've got to try these things, haven't you? So I've prepped that. I've cut off the little knob that was there. I've got an X screwdriver, and the plan is just to do that and stick a shitload of weld on it and see what happens. That's fucking brilliant. I need a mask. That thing, it takes one of your hands away to hold your mask, but it's as ugly as you like, but I'm sure it'll clean up alright. But more importantly, it's pretty firm. Sweet, happy with that. And there you go, after a bit of a clean up. It's not too bad actually. Just offer it up and see how it... Yeah, look at that. Nice and out of the way. Let's just check. No, it doesn't snare on any of the gear snares. Catching the gear linkage. Might be a little bit long. Solid, that'll do. Got to be able to catch it with your foot when it's... Yeah, that's fine. That is fine. Right, I'm going to get that cleaned up, sprayed up. And I'll check on the cowling as well. Okay, so back out in the garden. In the freshly mown garden. A mate of mine was retiring and going travelling for a year. And he had a knackered petrol lawnmower. He said, if you can fix it, you can have it. Car clean, done. Free petrol mower. Look at that, bikes do pay back. Right, so, yeah, it's not perfect, but it's more than good enough for me. I'm going to let that dry, give it a quick rub down. Another coat of primer, and then black. I've got the airbox cover there as well that was looking a bit grey and crappy, so while I'm painting, why not just chuck some paint on that as well. And the side stand, it's looking good. And actually my dodgy welding is a lot more dodgy than the stuff that was on it initially. Yeah, cool, happy with that. Right, so on my painting table, hey, it works. Yeah, getting there. It's not perfect, but it is more than good enough. Cover's fine. I'm particularly happy with the side stand. Yeah, cool. I am putting clear coat on it. That is not for shiny Fandango reasons, it's for protecting the paint, particularly over chrome. Although I did key it in quite well, paint sticking to chrome is difficult, so I think if I can give it as much protection and thickness as I can, it might pay me back in dividends. Cool. Right, and much later, because been out with the family. Sunday is a bit of a family day. Yeah, all done and looks pretty damn good. Not perfect, was never aiming for perfect, but it just ties in actually really nicely with that front mudguard, I think. Yeah. Right, not quite ready to go. I've still got a few, well, some snagging and some fundamentals. I've still got binding on one of the brakes, which I do need to sort, but I'm going to need brake fluid for that, which I don't have at the moment. The other thing that I don't really have a lot at the moment is fuel. And now that I've found that leak on carb 4, I am going to have to rebalance these, because I balanced them to an off carb, and that explains why I'm losing a lot of power at the moment. Power on. Because that is literally running on fumes at the moment. So, what have I achieved today? Oh, let's show you the other side as well. So, what have I achieved? Well, I've done my first ever bit of welding, which I'm really impressed with, and works. Although it's been blowing crap everywhere, so my fresh paint is a little bit ropey already. But hey, I might just. I think frankly it needs hammerite on that, because it does. It is a worn surface. The airbox cover looks good as well. Yeah, I've got good looking bikes. It's not working particularly well at the moment, but you know, it's snagging rather than anything fundamental, I am sure. But yeah, cool. Right, that'll do me for another weekend. What next? Well, when I've got some fuel. I'm going to see if I can balance out the issues that this has got at the moment. Now it's all sealed, and I know it's a pain in the arse to balance this bike, but now it's all sealed, I'm not going to be chasing the errors that I was before, which I'm quite looking forward to. Yeah, so probably a carb balance and then see what the score is. It might need, I don't think it's going to need a carb clean, but if I remember correctly, the kit that I had didn't have the jetting figures on the jets. Didn't have numbers on the jets because they're cheap Chinese ones. I've no idea what the jetting should be on this bike. I've yet to find a manual. If you can find a manual or a link for a CB400 Super Four 96, I think, then please chuck it my way, but I can't find one. They're all either 70s or they're 2000s, and the bikes are very, very different. So that's, you know, out on Sting, on kit. I couldn't remember earlier what I'd ordered. I'd ordered brakes and I'd ordered fork seals. That's why I couldn't remember earlier. So fork seals yet to come on that, probably next weekend. Brakes, brake pads, etc. And yes, the sort of thing that I can kind of do of an evening. Yeah, so I might be able to have a go at those throughout the week. Rear as well, obviously. I have ordered grips as well. Yeah, Postman's quite heavily laden at the moment. Oh, and mirrors are coming for the CB400. Although I've got chrome ones rather than black ones, and now I've blacked that out. I think I probably need black wing mirrors as well rather than chrome ones. Oh, I don't know. I shall see. We'll wait and see. But we're getting there, slowly but surely. That is tantalisingly close to MOTable. And frankly, as much as I want to get this one MOTable at the same time, it really depends how I get on with brakes and fork seals. Frankly, because I'd love to MOT them both at the same time. However, I'm constantly paranoid about cocking that up by scratching it, and I've got a really bad habit of sticking screwdrivers in my back pocket and then brushing past bikes. And I haven't caught it yet, but I've come close a couple of times. So I may have to sell on Sting before I get, oh, I don't know, I'm probably talking myself out of it. I want to get them both MOT'd at the same time, and that is my aim marker. So that'll do me for this one. I'm really impressed that I managed to weld. Never done that before. Quite enjoyed it actually. We're going to be doing it more. And if I do have one starter beginner tip for welding, it's get a lot on there. I was trying to like dab it to, you know, people talk about, you know, just touching it just to get the tabs on before doing it, and in the end I just went hell for leather and just chucked a load on there. And then, you know, you've got your discs with the older flappy discs to tidy up afterwards, nice cheap ones as well. So, moral of the story, try something new, you never know. It might be okay and it may well work. I'm not sure if I mentioned the cost of my little MIG welder that's up the back there. I got that off eBay for 54 quid, which is, you know, ridiculously cheap. And it's probably crap because it's cheap. It probably won't last that long, and it probably makes quite a messy job out of it. But frankly, it's good enough for a tit in the shed at the moment. Bearing in mind that I couldn't for love nor money find a replacement side stand for a 1994 CB400. Yeah. Oh, and it also cost me one old screwdriver, because that's what that is. That's what the beam is. Right, thanks very much for watching all. Thanks for subscribing. I hope you're enjoying the journey as much as I am. Cheers all. Ta-da.
Welding.